can't treat anything, it's not in the scope of my practice to treat anything other than what we've been working on. Your past PTSD, helping you get some cognitive reframing for some of the things that have been going on in your life right now. Helping you to manage your emotions and keep yourself regulated while staying out of that emergency brain, that deep-rooted amygdala. So my question is, if this worsened over the weekend, and
I didn't say it worsened. I told you that I compartmentalized it because you dismissed it. You didn't want to perceive it as something that was in actuality.
Well, it's not about me seeing it. It's my job to determine whether or not I
And in your line of work, you see a lot of psychosis. So okay. In your line of work, you don't see a lot of murder, right? So it would, of course.
Do you know that my background is that I have 5 years of forensic psychology and that I've been...
So you should know that the ear is used to conceal needle points when people are doing criminal activity like that. Interesting that you have a background in forensics and you're finding these things abnormal.
Heard of this.
Well, I've watched videos of people who have been, I don't know what the word is, victimized like that.
I mean, as far as getting an injection, you can give an injection pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, and there have been other marks. There have been other marks, but the ear was definitely, I feel like, the primary. And I started getting bumps in front of my ears, like little bumps. It started on the left ear, and then it went to the right ear, and now they're gone. My eyes, I believe, they're like numb right here. So I think maybe that was a new place because of these bumps surfacing over time. I don't know. Irregardless of the details of it, because in my opinion, the more I try to talk about the schematics, of how these people did what they did, the more it takes away from the just facts. And the facts are, I was told about someone murdering someone in this way. I had the physical symptoms of a respirator.
Who told you about that?
I witnessed Frank Crabtree speaking to Jacob. Again, this is something I brought up on our first visit.
Who is Frank Crabtree?
A friend of my biological father's. I've never really met him much. I saw him, I heard him, and then years later I found him on Facebook, and that's how I found his name. Mm-hmm. He said to Jacob, I put formaldehyde.
What did Jacob and
because my brother invited them to a sporting event in November 30th, 2019. His first UFC fight. We were both...
Did you ever ask your brother?
No. I heard that, and in fight or flight, I said, okay, that's how it's going to happen, and I put it in the back of my head. And then years later, these things happened.
Your brother would have a motivation to set it your...
My brother probably wants to avenge my sister's victimization. That would be his motive, yeah. He's a loyal person.
And if you said that to your brother, what would he say? If you told him...
Well, it depends on the context. If I did it over the phone, he probably would deny it. If I said it to him in person, he'd probably give me some solid advice about how to get the go out of the situation.
If you asked him, did you do this? He would say what?
Jacob and my brother both told me about watching a 10-hour confession video of a woman who committed a murder and how the camera kept rolling after she admitted it. They watched the whole video and they told me that they will never, ever crack. They won't. They're going to stick to their story. No one's going to say, oh yeah, I murdered her. Hello, these criminals are so smart that they introduced a chemical to act as a catalyst to cause cell mutation to give me cancer. I mean, that's so well thought out.
Sharing with me, I'm just going to keep doing my job is to dispute your altered reality.
But you have no proof that it's altered. You have you're just basing that off of your opinion.
I am going by practical.
Yeah, okay, it's very...
You told me that Jacob was very simple, was not...
I don't think he's the mastermind. Like I said, I believe he was acting as a buffer for a long time. And I agreed to that. I said, I'm going to stay in this relationship and let you guys see my life. And you will witness that I am not a danger. I am not a bad person. I never wanted those horrible, nasty things to happen. I'm not going to... You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it just didn't go that way.
How's your sleeping been?
It's been fine. Been sleeping every night.
Okay.
Go to bed with the kids, wake up at 7.
Do you sleep with Jacob?
Not every night. Some nights he sleeps downstairs. He stays up pretty late with the video games. I shut the door.
So when you normally go to bed at night, with this time frame when he was supposedly putting a respirator on you.
Yeah. That's July 30th to August 1st, 2020.
Okay, and so July 30th through like 3 days?
3 days. I woke up. I was so tired. I tasted latex in my mouth. I had long cylinder crystals coming out of my tear ducts, like white long cylinders. I tried to eat an apple and I had to spit it out because I couldn't even swallow it.
Was it tasteless and odorless?
What, the apple?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't tasteless and odorless. It was just like maybe a little drier than, felt dry. Just felt like I couldn't swallow it. Oh, it's making me sick just thinking about it. I had, like I said, I was tired, nauseous, couldn't eat. I had the crystals coming out of my eyes. My eyes felt really dry, but they were watering profusely, like just would not stop watering. I said I had the latex. I tasted like latex, literally like I would been on a respirator all night. I had a cut on the side of my mouth, and on the 3rd day, half my face was numb. I documented these symptoms via talking to friends on Facebook. I did not go to the doctors. Jacob urged me not to go to the doctors. He said it was just ventilation, or I was sick, or we just were sick and everything's okay.
Did anybody else have the sickness?
No. When I started coughing up black, that's when it hit me.
Just recently, like over the weekend?
When it was on the 12th, after the August 1st, the 3 days, about the 12th, I started really coughing up black. That's when I really put 2 and 2 together, and I just was like, oh shit, this is actually happening. You know, of course, no wonder I felt
coughing up black. What does it look like?
Like that. And this is today. So
Well, I think you need to go to the doctor.
I am. I have made an appointment.
When did you make an appointment?
When I got my x-ray 2 days ago.
And
it's scheduled out for 2 days.
And the x-ray?
The x-ray was for my neck.
And are you going to the doctor for your neck or for your coughing?
For both, for everything. Okay. It's all related. Sorry, I digress. I was talking about my physical symptoms from the respirator. Mm-hmm. Not only did I have these crystals coming out of my eyes and the dryness, the watering, the nausea, but I felt weak and tired. And like I said, I documented it by communicating it. On the 12th, when I started coughing up black, I really started getting it out there. Telling people, be my Snowden. It's improbable, but if I die, be my Snowden. And then on the 13th, I went to get an x-ray of my chest, which showed visceral inflammation. That's an early sign of cancer.
Or also a sign of COVID, because COVID shows inflammation in the lungs.
So I haven't had
Visceral
any.
Means visible inflammation.
Visceral means intravenous.
Well, the word visceral means something.
Maybe I'm mispronouncing it. Neither here nor there. So I got that x-ray, and then I went to the police the next day. I went to the police, and the police officer that took my report was an officer who had transferred from Lake County. And I had my son with me. I came with my own food.
How did you know he transferred from Lake County?
Because I had seen him before. He told me he had transferred from Lake County. So I brought my son with me. I drove myself to the police station to report these crimes. The $1 million heist, the illegal drug selling activity, the murder Frank Crabtree committed, and the attempted murder on my life. I was calm, collected, and stated the facts as I am now. And towards the end of it, he said, I believe you. Let's get you a blood test. And I said, oh my God, really great. Thank you so much. And then he said, I'm going to have this officer take your son. And I said, I can drive myself. I came here. Can't I take my son with me? I can just drive us to the hospital. No. They 5150'd me. They retained my son. They took me to the hospital, and then I started therapy with you. Okay. After I went to the police station, and that I started calling therapy, calling the doctors, doing everything that you're supposed to do in these situations. And then I called the police station. I made a second report on audio on the phone call because I was worried that the police report wasn't going to be documented. I went to the police station and I printed out both of those police reports. This is the only direct evidence that I will have in my case if it goes that far.
Okay. So something is going on. I definitely can see that you have some physical something if you're coughing up.
Yeah. And the fact that I
And that
am
was
telling
the-
you that it's 6 months and that this would present itself, and it is. You know, I wish that you just had a little more faith in me and believed in me. I'm a very intelligent person. I am a very astute, I don't know how else to really.
I think that you're doing the very best job that you can to describe how you're feeling, and you certainly have coughed up something.
And I certainly had those physical symptoms of a respirator on my face. And I certainly
What part
heard Frank Crabtree tell that to Jacob. And I certainly was involved in a sexual abuse situation that made people feel like I was a person that shouldn't be alive.
So how can I help you if I can't believe in what you're telling me?
That's a very good question. That is a very good question. I just wish that you could believe me. I really find it very disappointing that you have an aversion to believing my story because of the improbability, and because you're just so consistently working in a different realm. You're so consistently working with people who have mental disorders that I feel like you're fixated on finding the mental disorder, and you're maybe not looking macro enough, you know?
I wish that were true.
Well,
I
agree to
wish-
disagree.
I mean, maybe the good thing is if this is a mental health disorder, you're not dying of cancer. That's positive. If we treated this, if we considered maybe getting on medication, see if things change. But
Again, I'm not a danger to myself or anyone else, and under the Mental Health Bill of Rights, I have a right to refuse medication. I don't feel like I'm in a psychosis. I do have physical evidence of these things happening to me, although I didn't record Frank Crabtree telling Jacob. I have my own testimonial, and as long as I'm of sound mind, it shouldn't be thrown out. So it feels like you're doing me a disservice by undermining my
what do
mental
you think you need
wellness.
To do I mean, I cannot support you in this.
So what is it that you don't support me in? Just the belief that this happened, or in me
The
moving
belief that
forward
this
with the
happens,
paperwork,
that
or
there's something going on in your brain chemistry that is not okay, and that you're suffering. I don't doubt for a moment that you're suffering. I mean, my compassion goes to you that you're suffering.
Yeah, but you can understand, even right now, I'm calm, collected, I'm stating the facts, I'm telling you the same thing I told you 6 months ago when I came in here, the same thing that's in my police report. Nothing is changing, and the things that I'm predicting are coming true. So at this point, it just seems like you are optionally not seeing it. It's like you're choosing to disregard everything I'm bringing to you.
I suppose if you brought me medical records from your doctor that says that you've inhaled something that somebody forced while you were sleeping.
But if I come to you and the x-ray proves I have cancer, I bet you would still even then say, well, cancer just happens.
Well, I don't.
But if I said 6 months prior, cancer's going to happen, and then it happens, then are you still going to say that?
Well,
Whoa.
it's not likely that you have cancer. So I'm not really concerned.
Where
about
do you
that.
get the statistical, where is your subject group? How do you know
I don't
what
have
percentage
any
of people
medical
get
records
cancer?
that tell me that you have cancer.
Okay, well, maybe you're trying to console me, and I apologize. I believe this is happening. I believe with certainty these things have happened and are happening. I don't have doubt in my mind. I came through the correct channels by going to the police and trying to report this crime. And then I followed through with all the things that were advised to me, both medically and mentally.
What are you expecting from? If this
I guess
were-
a part of me wanted your acknowledgement and just maybe a little bit of a parental, like, yes, go get help, thank you, please, if this is happening,
I am saying that, but I'm saying it differently than you were wanting. I want you to get help that you need, but I think it's in a different way than you think it is. I mean, the reality is that
I feel like every time I try to get help and go through the correct channels and take the appropriate measures, it's used against me. I went to the police and they 5150'd me, and now it's adding to the narrative that I'm of unsound mind. I'm coming to you, and even though I spent 6 months showing you that I'm of sound mind,
I'm not seeing 6 months worth of you being sound mind.
Okay, I showed you 6 months of me, who I am. And I believe that I wasn't presenting any reason for you to discredit or disbelieve what's happening to me.
I'm not discrediting you. I just can't agree with your philosophy of what's going on with you. I do believe from that picture that you took that there might be something medically going on.
Isn't it odd that it would happen and then stop for the 6 months, like I said, with the medication, and then start back up with, like I said? I mean, that's the block I was coughing up when I came to see you initially.
I don't recall you telling me you were coughing up black, but
I wish I had recorded our initial visit, because I mean, maybe it was a lot of information. I understand I was very panicked at that time. I feared for my life. That's why I went to the police.
Do you feel
but I
right
did
now?
tell you all that information. I wouldn't say panicked. I feel hopeful.
Did you say this information to Jacob?
Which information?
All of this. Did you tell him? I think you're hurting me.
Oh, here's another thing. So I did tell my friend. I was speaking with a friend. She works for Chico PD, and she had made a mandated report, basically, of sorts, and the police contacted him. So they contacted Jacob to tell him that he's being accused as an abuser, which I think is completely unethical and wrong.
Well, the police have no confidentiality.
Well, the police should have contacted the victim to offer resources. They shouldn't have contacted the abuser to say, hey, heads up, she's saying that you're abusing her. That's weird. It should not be commonplace. I'm sure women have died for much less.
So over the last 6 months, I've asked you several questions to check in on you and Jacob's relationship, and you haven't indicated that he's done anything to harm you.
He's not physically abusive. I have told you that he calls me pathetic. He limits my freedom. He doesn't allow me to go out. He's financially controlling of everything. Does he, buy me food? Yeah, of course. He does. He buys me food. And is he a decent dad? Yeah, he's a little immature, but he's okay. But it's been emotionally abusive since.
Saying he keeps to himself and plays his video games, is just not in tune with anything that's going on. That's how you.
Yeah, no, he's not very engaging. He's a stoner. He's lazy. He's selfish, but in the right circumstances and context, he's also verbally, emotionally abusive, and controlling to some degree. He just sold my car. I don't have a bank account. I don't have the freedom to do what I want when I want. Just now, I took today, and I've been out of the house for a couple hours.
He sold your car?
Yeah.
Was it, registered under your name?
Yeah.
And how did he sell your car without...
To the neighbor. I mean, I was there, but I didn't feel like I had much. I wanted to keep it. I wanted to keep my car. I felt like I could fix it, but he said we needed the money.
So is this a car you drive? Or?
No, I'm driving his car right now.
Okay. You only have one car now?
He has a truck and the Honda. And he sold my Ford. I had a Escape.
And there was something wrong with it, that it was...
Yeah, it was having a water pump or a head gasket issue, which is a big problem. And, it was easy for me to be like, okay, I guess, but I feel like I've been reduced to a very limited amount of power in my life, for sure. And I think it's been intentional. Keeping me isolated. He doesn't want me to be talking about all this with people. You know, it's real disappointing. It is to be fighting so hard for myself and then just to not be received and to hit walls and to have people who
I'm glad that you're able to voice that. I don't think I could change how I'm feeling.
I can understand how it's difficult to believe. It is like I said the first day I met you. It's improbable, but it is possible and it is happening. So I mean I just wanted to make an appointment.
It would just be easier to say, hey Denise, I don't want to be with you anymore. Why don't you just
it would be.
Get a divorce?
It would be.
I mean, that seems more practical.
Yeah, that's what I would think too. But it wasn't his choice. Jacob himself, I don't believe he wanted to murder me. I do believe that my biological family put stress on him. And
murder you?
And that the grass was just, it at some point, you know, being the sole provider for a family you didn't want, and in a relationship with someone who has, you know,
where does he work?
ADG. He does calls. Either way, the grass
ADG,
was
what is that?
American Directions Group. It's a survey group.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't the one who wanted all of that. You know, he was motivated by them, or not motivated, pushed, I would say. You know, and on the other side, when I'm gone, he gets to go home to his friends, his family, not work, go back to selling drugs, and have millions of dollars with his ex-wife. Give his children everything that he wants and be close to his family. There are motives there, you know?
What makes you think she would want him back?
I don't think so. I think that they just were going to maintain friendship. I don't even know if they'll get back together, but he helped her to pull off this.
Do you think that some of these thoughts are coming from you not feeling worthy?
No.
Like we have been discussing?
No, I don't.
I mean,
I have a lot of thoughts about my self-worth, but they don't come out in this way. They come out in, you know, failure to do things. I'm harsh on myself, like, wow, you know, you lost your keys, you're a worthless piece of shit, you can't do anything right, you're never going to be able to do anything right, no matter how hard you try. Those are the ways that they manifest in me.
You described to me a very abusive relationship between Jacob and his ex.
Yeah, she was very abusive, but he actually has a domestic violence against him because of that, because of her and his domestic violence.
Yeah, and so you believe him that he did not hurt her? Or that
I think he hurt her, but only after being so antagonized. So antagonized, you know. I'm sure, I mean, he's gotten physical with me. He's pulled my hair, he's pushed me. We've had, you know, when we were drinking back in the day,
that's domestic violence.
I know, but I didn't want to say anything because I love him, and you know, in my mind, everybody makes mistakes, and he was just drunk, and we got over it. We moved past it. Why would I bring that up and hold it against him and use it to hurt him? You know, I want us both to grow. That's not how you help people grow. That limits him. You know, that's the same reason I didn't make a report about my sister, and why I let my sister tell my dad and my brother that I was some bad guy in the situation, you know. I wanted her to get the help she needed. I wanted her to have the family because I thought I was stronger and smarter and she needed it more than me. I made these conscious choices.
Do you think maybe something we could do, maybe I would love to, do you want a second therapist involved in this so we could maybe have two minds to help you with this? I'll do just about anything to help you progress.
I mean,
but I can't. Maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe pulling another therapist in the room and then having her give you her judgment.
I mean, no, I don't want a second opinion unless I were to go and find that therapist of my own free will and volition, because anything associated with you has the probability to be in.
Are you mistrusting me now?
I don't trust anyone. So, I mean, if you don't know that, that's a fact. I mean, I come in and I open myself up to you, so I do trust you to a degree.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, I've shared some very deep personal things with you. But I don't think I'm capable of fully putting my hands in anyone's life without the forethought of it, if that makes sense.
How much sleep have you had in the last couple of days?
Every night, like 8 hours. I don't know why you keep.
I'm just asking
Sorry.
questions.
I
It's my
know, you're
job.
right.
If I don't do my job, it's malpractice. I'm gonna do my job.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been
If
sleeping
you
well.
notice I'm not swayed by your opinions or judgments,
Yeah.
you want a therapist that is strong like that. You don't
Yeah.
want a therapist who would placate you or tell you they believe you when they don't.
Okay,
Right?
well, I've been eating nutritiously. I've been maintaining my routines. I get physical exercise. I water my garden every day. I
Over
still
the
do.
last 24 hours, how much have you thought about this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, all day today because I've been doing things about it. I went and got this police report today. I went to One Safe Place today.
How about yesterday?
Yesterday, the police called Jacob to let him know that I was talking to people about what had happened.
What did Jacob say?
He was mad, of course. Yeah, he's mad that I am talking
he
to people. No, he's angry. He's angry.
Mm-hmm.
He's angry that I would, as he say, risk this family. And that's like a threat, basically, is...
Are you feeling exhausted?
No. Defeated. Sure, yeah. A little defeated. Not much, because you're one area in a large span of area. It's an unfortunate one that you're not on my side, because I feel like it really will make a difference.
I'm not on your side.
Okay, it's unfortunate that you can't see through my perspective.
I can't support this belief.
Yeah, and that's what you told me when I came to you the first day, so that's why I haven't talked about it. So when you tell me that you can't believe it, it made me want to, you can't change that. It felt unchangeable. So why try to convince you of something you've already decided not to believe?
I haven't gotten any evidence.
I don't have any evidence.
Okay.
These people are too smart to give me evidence, okay? I don't have evidence. The only evidence I have is that I went to the police and said, I'm gonna get cancer. That's it. That's all. And I knew that. I knew that
And
the only evidence...
you and other people haven't believed you. And
doing the right thing when everyone's doing the wrong thing doesn't mean that it's any less right. I don't care how many people don't believe me. I don't care how many people feel like this is crazy. You can watch crime TV all day, and you know what people say when they watch that? Oh my god, I can't even believe that. Who thinks of that? That's crazy. How could that happen? Wow, how smart. You know what I mean? So it's okay. It's totally, I get it.
Well, Denise, how will I help you if this is how you're feeling?
Well, like I said, I just wanted to discuss it with you before I move forward. I'm still moving forward. I'm doing what's best for me, what's best for my family. I just wanted, I guess, not a pat on the back, but essentially, it's just some support from someone who I've shared with.
If you feel like you were being abused and you need to escape your house, then you would go to One Safe Place. Okay? You know the patterns. If he is hurting you or emotionally abusing you, you know what the criteria for abuse is.
Yes, and
okay.
I understand that I'm in my rights as a mother and as a partner in this relationship.
You could go to One Safe Place if you feel like you're being hurt or injured.
I was there just 10 minutes before here.
But you could live there.
That is a possibility. That is one of the possibilities that are in front of me, yes.
So I'm never going to stand in the way of, giving you protection, particularly if he's upset about these phone calls from the police.
Yeah, just the fact that I was gone for a couple hours today, he's called me like 32 times. He's making threats about packing up his stuff and leaving, saying, you can buy your own fucking car. So, I mean...
Well, did he get money for your car?
Yeah, but we used it for the family. I'm not saying that I owed that money. We have a shared financial situation for the most part, He's the provider. Why wouldn't I contribute when I can? He doesn't even want me here at this therapy visit, So it's just...
Well, I would think that if he's...
That's what I said. I said, if you want me to be in my best mind, I need to have breaks. I need to be able to go to therapy. You know, he just went to Lake County for a whole weekend and did cocaine with his friends. I'm just trying to see a therapist, you know? It's pretty wild.
So our creed is to do no harm. And I could see that it would be great harm if I agreed with you.
Again, agree to disagree.
Okay. So what do you want to do right now? What do you want me to do?
I didn't come here to ask you to do anything.
Okay.
I just felt like it would be best that I communicate with you before I move forward. I felt like I didn't want to go to one safe place and then have them contact you and then for you to be like, oh, it's a psychosis, which looks like it's going to happen regardless.
And I would not tell them a thing because I don't have an
Well, I plan on moving forward for my protection of my family. I will continue therapy with you. I'm going to try and continue on my life plan of finding a way to be financially independent. I had a couple interviews this week. I'm going to have to sign up for Head Start. I'm going to have to find a car. I'm going to have to see what resources are available to me with one safe place.
I think that's an excellent idea. And I am really honored that you, even though we don't see eye to eye, that you trust me as your therapist. That means a lot.
Well, I just feel like if I can just tell people the truth, my story, be understood that
I would. Do you trust me that I'm an honest person?
to a degree, I'm sure, yeah. I think everyone has a propensity to...
I would never tell you anything like, yeah, I believe you when I didn't. Okay? That's one...
Okay, so you're telling me, what do you want from me, right? That's what you're asking me. Yeah. What can I do?
Well,
what can I do to give you the evidence that would be sufficient for you? At what point would you say, maybe this is possible?
If you showed me some lab reports that your doctor is saying that you might be being poisoned.
Okay, well, I can't because that's obviously, and formaldehyde's naturally occurring in the body. The test wasn't there. They couldn't get a hold of a test to test me for formaldehyde at the time.
Okay, what I want to do is I would like to bring, this I would say to you. Could you listen to me for a minute?
Yeah.
I would love to bring in an intern, okay, that we have two heads working here.
Okay. I don't have an interest in that.
You wouldn't trust another person?
No, I do feel like one statement of psychosis is weaker than two statements. So again, if I were going to seek out another opinion, it would not be in any relation to you, unfortunately. I have to defend myself the best I can, and part of my defense is going to be proving that I'm mentally sound. The only proof you have that I'm not mentally sound is a story you don't believe, but that I've very well documented. I've been very diligent. And I can continue on living that way. I can continue on and grow as a person and become better as far as financially independent and all the other things that prove my mental wellness.
So I'm going to imagine that there's